Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. New Hampshire could benefit in real dollars from a new 21st century economic agreement between the United States and the United Kingdom just crafted last month, especially given the type of products New Hampshire already exports to the UK. The British Consul General to New England is here, and we'll speak to this in a moment. But first, here is an idea of what is made in New Hampshire that is sent to the UK. Here are the goods exports, 14.6 million, I got that right. Computer equipment, aerospace products and parts, meat products, miscellaneous fabricated metal products, semiconductors and components. This is information from the UK government. Now, also exports of services, 250 million. This is 2021 numbers we're giving you. Insurance services, management, consulting, and advisory services, securities transactions, computer software services, and there are some jobs in New Hampshire supported by New Hampshire exports to the UK, namely 2,100. With me to give us a glimpse into what New Hampshire and the UK trade could look like going forward is the British Consul General to New England, Dr. Peter Abbott, who has served for the British government in Portugal, West Africa, and earlier in the Home Office for Security and Counterterrorism. Welcome, Peter. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Fred. Great to be here.
Let me ask you, the multifaceted agreement that we just put up on the screen a bit, our two governments in June created it, called the Atlantic Declaration, as it's called. Holds some real promise for New Hampshire and New England? For businesses here?
I think it does, absolutely. So the Atlantic Declaration is a economic and security partnership fit for the 21st century. And it was signed between our two governments, as you said, back in June, right, in response to a world that is frankly much more challenging, I think, than maybe it has been in both of our lifetimes. This has some real opportunities, I think, for New Hampshire in particular, in the defence and aerospace sectors, in the biotech and health engineering sectors, and in clean and renewable energy.
Interesting. Well, let me show you the 5 short-term actions, in this declaration. Critical and emerging technologies, economic security, technology protection and supply chains, digital transformation, clean energy, and defense, health, security, and space. Now, Peter, which of these actions would be more relevant to New Hampshire and New England businesses?
So let's start with defence and aerospace. New Hampshire has a very well-established defence and aerospace sector. I was here a couple of months ago and I visited BAE Systems in Nashua, one of your largest private employers, I think, in the state, and a British parent company as well. We are very excited by the potential visit to the UK in autumn by Taylor Caswell, your Commissioner for Business and Economic Affairs. He will be going to a Defence and Aerospace Expo in London, and there'll be a number of New Hampshire-based companies going as well. So we're excited about the opportunities for deepening in that sector in particular. Excellent,
excellent. One of the emerging technologies in New Hampshire is the mass production, as you know, of human tissues in a high-growth Manchester tech business by inventor Dean Kamen, which I understand you visited recently. Is that a particular interest to the British government?
It's a huge interest to us. I think in part of the Atlantic Declaration is focused on future health challenges, and part of that is exploring the latest and emerging technologies in health, biotech, and biological engineering. And what Dean is doing with DECA and with ARMI, with the Advanced Regenerative Manufacturing Institute here in Manchester, it holds tremendous potential, and I'm really excited to get to know him and his organisation better.
When could we see some activity in these different areas that we just put up on the screen?
So I think there's activity happening already, and in fact one of the clean energy working groups that was set up under the declaration has already started to report back. We did an event in Boston recently with a big British offshore wind company setting up in New England, and we're reporting back some of the findings from that to London to feed into that working group. So there's a lot of activity already going on.
It's worth noting that your office in Cambridge provides services to British nationals living or visiting in New England, but you also provide services to those of us who aren't British, especially if we're in an emergency.
Well, I think it's only services to British nationals visiting or living here. I was involved in the Titan submersible incident recently, where the Titan submersible went missing off the coast of New England, and was supporting the families of 3 of the British nationals who were on board.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Peter Abbott, who is the Consul General, British Consul General to New England. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you here. And if you missed part of this, you can go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted all this week.